Welcome back. I'm Beth Haynes. The Federal Communications Commission chairman is proposing tough new open internet rules in an op-ed to Wired magazine. Tom Wheeler says he thinks internet service should be regulated like any other public utility, and providers should not be able to enter into agreements with companies to prioritize their data. Joining us with more on what all of this means for the average consumer is tech expert Dan Thompson from Claris Networks. You break it down for us each and every time that you're on, and this can be a little complicated. You've had to hear the term net neutrality. It seems to be the buzzword or words right now. Let's start with what does it mean exactly?
So and let me preface this by saying that admittedly this is somewhat confusing, and our lawmakers and anybody that has a stake involved is not making it any easier on us. So what net neutrality is striving to do is make the internet remain free and open by keeping service providers like Comcast, Charter, AT&T, all the usual suspects, by keeping them from being able to charge people like Netflix or Google a premium to use their service, to use their access to the internet. So they have proposed things like a quote-unquote fast lane, which would effectively make other service providers slower, or content providers, I should say. So
you would pay extra for that fast lane.
That's exactly right, yeah. And so this is all played out several times already with Comcast and Charter both effectively twisting the arm of Netflix, saying, hey, pay us millions of dollars or your service will basically not work anymore. And of course Netflix at the time had no recourse but to say, okay, here's our money. Totally not fair, and is not conducive to the internet the way we need it to be as consumers.
So let's talk more about Tom Wheeler's proposal with Wired magazine. What is he suggesting?
Well, so first of all, I would like to say that I'm very proud of what he has done, because this is a total reversal from where he has stood previously. He has come out and said, hey, we need to do a total change. We need to change internet service providers to be, we need to do a Title II change with them. So effectively today, internet service is considered an information service. What he is proposing to change it as a telecommunication service. Now, that may seem like a lot of jargon, and who cares, but
what's the difference?
The big difference is with telecommunications, obviously it's been around much longer, and so there are tons of regulations out there on what providers can and can't do, whereas information services, those don't exist, and has fostered the ability for these service providers to do things like they have with Netflix. So this is a total reversal. Now, pay very close attention to the people who have money at stake here, because they are going to be making all kinds of crazy claims. Charter and Comcast, I'm sure you can go to their websites today and already see what they're staking up. The big stink that you will hear is that Title II will allow the government to effectively tax the internet. And this is true. However, one of the comments that Tom Wheeler made in his op-ed for Wired was that we need to bring Title II into the 21st century, and we're all assuming that he will modify that. He also made very clear that he was not planning to place any tariffs or force cable companies to unbundle services. So it seems as though his stance is we need to put rules in place so there are no rules in place, if that makes sense, but then I'm not going to make any taxes or any increases as far as those charges are concerned.
Unfortunately, we're almost out of time. Really quickly, what's the next step?
So basically we just have to wait till the 28th, which is when the FCC will vote on it. That will send this much more solidified.
And like 10 seconds, we got to shift gears and talk about this hack at Anthem.
Yes, so Anthem breach, the big thing that people need to know here, get on Anthem's website and see if you are a customer of one of their many companies. And then if you are, pay attention to mail. They will be mailing you a response, what we should do. As always, keep an eye on your credit. And as always, if you get an email concerning this, ignore it. They are not sending out emails. They're only sending out mail through the Postal Service.
All right, Dan Thompson, thanks so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
Great information. Well, coming up, gas prices are inching upward. How much they've gone up and